Hello friends, it's me again. Maybe one of these days I'll make an intro. But here we are, and this is the second commission I made for SheIsHazard, this time of her character Niskara. Again, I hope I'm pronouncing everything right here. I really enjoy drawing him. Oh goodness, this sketch was a lot of fun trying to get the angles right with the background I wanted. I ended up going a little less ambitious than I had hoped, and I put his other leg up on the table because when I had it hanging down before, I worried that it wasn't technically a full body picture, but then his hand ends up getting cut off later, so I don't know, maybe I could have left it. And we're already into the line art. I think I did less focus on the line differentiation in this one. I made sure to sharpen all the edges of my line art, especially in his hair, because I think that really adds to it. Oh goodness, and you can see I had a lot of trouble with his hip area and trying to figure out the folds there. And just the general folds in the clothing, especially where his sort of vest drapes over the table. And oh yeah, I got a little excited to start blocking in colors for the background, and then I realized maybe I should finish the line art first. I always have trouble with hands. Still working on that. I think hands are a lifelong endeavor for artists. Now that we're starting the color, I guess I can say I really like this character's colors. And oh no, I think one thing I really recommend if you're still starting out with digital art is color picking from the references you're sent. And I made quite the effort to hide it every time, and where he pops in for a frame or two when I have to look and check for the colors, he pops in, but that time I forgot to hide him, so he'll hang out there for a bit. And here I changed the background color when I put in the white, just because you can't see when you're blocking in the white if your background's also white. And yeah, when I was doing the designs on his clothes, he ended up staying there for a bit. If anyone has a problem with the reference being in there, I can edit it out, but it really helped to have it right there, especially because the designs on his, I guess I called it a vest thing before, are quite specific, and I wanted to make sure I got them accurate and also adjusted them slightly to where I put the folds. It just makes it look a little more three-dimensional, realistic. And yeah, this is probably the most ambitious background I had ever done up to this point. I died a little inside when I looked at the date for this drawing on my DeviantArt, and it was back in September. I feel so awful. But we're doing it. We're gonna get this video done. And I think the details in the ropes are something I'm not entirely happy with. It was hard to make it with the lineless way that I did it, to have both the details and the shading in there. And you can see at this point, I had never used the smudge tool before. And so here I was trying to just use like soft brushes to get the shading blended out. And oh no, it was a miracle when I discovered the smudge tool during this drawing for the first time. Oh, how we've grown since then. And the short description I got of this character is that I think he worked as a fortune teller, and I got really excited to draw like a sort of carnival tent with him in it, and I wanted to have him sitting at a table, but then again I ran into the problem of it. Since it was a full body commission, I wanted to have the whole character in it, so I put him on the table, sort of inviting in customers by looking all mysterious and all that. And I think the way I layered the drawing really helped. I mean, I guess it's sort of obvious, but having the foreground on the layer on top, the background behind, was really nice. I think I could have worked with more separate layers when I did the ropes. Live and learn. And it's hard to see the shading I did here, so I zoomed in a bit. Hopefully you can see. I think planning ahead a bit more with separate items laying over top, maybe putting them on separate layers so I don't have to add separate layers for the shading so much and erase it, might have made this a little bit easier, but I think I did okay with how I did it. And I think doing the background before doing all the shading was a good idea as well, because it kind of got putting in the light of the sort of crystal ball he's holding and having the lighting and colors of the background in first helped me pick colors for the shading on the character and things like that, and I think it just really helped make it all look more put together and not that he's like a separate entity from the background, if that makes any sense. And I think the smudge tool here was amazing, because shading you can sort of do kind of on the back of the character, on the back of his arms, but the highlights, I think putting them like in the middle of his shoulder really made it look like that. It gave it that three-dimensional feel that I feel like I've never been able to create before. And then you saw for a minute there, I put in some line art on the background just to see it. I wanted to make it fit with the character a bit more. I felt like there was something off that I wasn't sure about, so I added in some line art just to see if that would make it, put it in the similar style to the character, since the character obviously has line art. But I asked the person commissioning this piece, and they liked to line this background a bit better. And yeah, I think that's the end here. I really enjoyed, again, discovering a lot of things about doing backgrounds, because again, this is probably one of the most fully fleshed out and most ambitious backgrounds I've ever done, especially in digital art. And so I just really appreciate this piece for pushing me to do something new and put in that extra bit of effort to make it really, I guess, bring it to life and put a character in a scenario that goes along with their story. And it's something that I'm gonna keep working on. This has been really motivated for me, so as always, I'd like to thank the people that commissioned me in today. SheIsHazard. Sorry if this is really cheesy, but it gives me an opportunity. I would never have really known that I wanted to draw this character or this type of background if I never got commissioned, and I appreciate the support in my art, and just thank you so much. I'm sorry that the wait for this video ended up being so long, but I've been trying out different video editors. My parents run a massage business in the room right beside me, so it makes it really difficult to find time to record audio. But again, I appreciate that you asked for speed paints with this commission. It's really made me start to put more effort into my YouTube channel, and it just means so much. And I guess maybe this whole sentimental bit at the end here has come from it being a new year, and there's lots of projects I'd really like to get done, stuff I'd like to do, and I don't know, I'm grateful for all the support I've been receiving and pushing me forward to start doing those things that I've always wanted to do. I don't know what content I'd be posting really without this commission here, and it just means a lot, so thanks. See you all around.